The first thing I learned about the alien woman sharing my apartment was that she could bend steel with 2 fingers. The second was that she cried when I refused to sleep beside her. Every night, Vera said, standing beside my bed with her silver eyes glowing in the dark. You sleep here. With me. I stared at her. That sounds romantic until you realize I snore. I have already studied your snoring. That sentence somehow made things worse. She folded her arms. Her long violet ears twitched with embarrassment. Vera belonged to the Ilari, a species famous across the galaxy for telepathy, impossible beauty, and an unfortunate habit of taking human sarcasm literally. We had met 3 weeks earlier after her escape pod crashed through my apartment balcony. She had apologized, repaired the railing with a glowing hand, and then announced that Earth law required temporary cohabitation while her rescue beacon was repaired. I had expected an annoying roommate. I got an alien princess with combat training, royal manners, and absolutely no understanding of personal space. That night, she pointed at my bed. Your species sleeps alone? Usually. Why? Because most roommates don't demand cuddling. Her expression became genuinely horrified. I am not asking for mating. I nearly fell out of bed. You could have started with that. Vera sighed. On my world, sleeping beside someone is a protective ritual. It means their nervous system is allowed to relax because another person is guarding them. I paused. That is, actually kind of sweet. It is also mandatory for bonded companions. Bonded companions? She looked away. Yes. My stomach tightened. Vera, are we bonded? Not yet. Good. Yet. Less good. She smiled for the first time. Then she climbed under the blanket. I froze. Vera. Yes? You are on my side. I know. That is the side with the pillow. I know. That pillow has emotional significance. She blinked. You named your pillow? No. Then why did you say that? I don't know. Panic. She laughed. It was the first time I heard it, and somehow the whole room seemed warmer. I didn't know it then, but Vera wasn't asking because she wanted romance. She was asking because she was terrified. And by morning, I would discover exactly what she had been hiding. I tried to ignore the strange warmth spreading through my chest. It was ridiculous. I had known her for 21 days, and already my apartment felt different without her footsteps. Even her dramatic sighs had become familiar. Vera watched me carefully. Why are you smiling? I wasn't. You were. Maybe I'm happy. She looked genuinely surprised. Because I am here? I shrugged. Maybe. Her cheeks turned a faint lavender. That is dangerous information. Why? Because I might become attached. I looked at her. Too late. She said nothing. Neither did I. But when the lights went out, she quietly moved closer. And for once, neither of us joked about it. Tonight. At breakfast, Vera burned 12 pieces of toast, and somehow blamed the toaster. It attacked me. It is a toaster. It has hostility. I took the ruined toast and sat across from her. Tell me about the bonding thing. Her smile disappeared. The Ilari have a neurological condition called separation distress. After a traumatic event, our minds seek a stable presence. Without it, nightmares become worse. I softened. You've been having nightmares? Every night. She admitted it quietly. That explained everything. Her escape pod hadn't merely crashed. She had fled a military coup on her homeworld. Someone had tried to assassinate her, and the beacon in her pod had been damaged during the escape. So when you asked me to sleep beside you, I was asking you to help me feel safe. I nodded. Then you should have said that. I attempted to. You said, we must sleep together every night. Yes. That is a very different sentence on Earth. She tilted her head. Is it? I laughed so hard I nearly choked. Over the next week, our nightly ritual became strangely comfortable. We talked in the dark. Vera told me about crystal oceans, floating cities, and alien royal ceremonies where people exchanged embarrassing childhood memories instead of rings. I told her about rent, bad coffee, and why humans pretended to enjoy small talk. She considered this seriously. Your species performs social rituals you dislike? Constantly. Fascinating. Humans are inefficient. You're living with one. I noticed. She smiled. Then came the night when she woke screaming. I sat up instantly. Her hands were trembling. Vera? She looked at me, eyes wet. They found me. Who? She grabbed my wrist. The people who destroyed my family. The room suddenly felt colder. A blue symbol appeared across her palm. A tracking mark. My stomach dropped. You're being tracked? Yes. And you've known? I didn't want to leave. Why? Her eyes met mine. Because when I am beside you, the signal becomes difficult to detect. I stared at her. So I've been your human Wi-Fi blocker? She laughed through her tears. Something like that. I smiled. Vera, you could have told me. I was afraid you would send me away. I'm not sending you anywhere. Her expression softened. Then she whispered, That is why I asked you to sleep beside me. I reached for her hand. Then we'll face them together. She squeezed my fingers. Together? Together. Her ears lifted. That sounds dangerously romantic. I swallowed. Yeah. It might be. She leaned closer. Our faces were inches apart. Then the apartment lights exploded. Vera sighed. Of course. I looked toward the window. 3 black drones hovered outside. Date night? Apparently. She stood, eyes glowing bright blue. Stay behind me. I grabbed a frying pan. Absolutely not. She stared at it. You intend to fight assassins with kitchen equipment? I'm an Earthman. We improvise. For the first time, Vera laughed before battle. I wondered whether this strange friendship was becoming something much more. The drones crashed through the windows. Vera moved like lightning. A pulse of blue energy struck the first machine and sent it spinning into the ceiling. I ducked behind the sofa and threw my frying pan at the second. It hit nothing. Excellent strategy, Vera shouted. I'm distracting them. You are distracting me. The third drone fired. Vera stepped in front of me. The blast struck her shoulder. She fell. Everything inside me went cold. Vera! I rushed toward her. She pushed herself upright. I am fine. You just got hit by a spaceship weapon. Technically, it is a surveillance weapon. That's your defense? She smiled weakly. Humor is useful during stress. Then here's some humor. If you die, I'm going to be extremely annoyed. Her eyes softened. Why? Because I like having you around. That is almost romantic. Don't ruin the moment. She smiled. Together, we disabled the remaining drones. Vera accessed their control system through her neural interface and discovered the truth. The assassins weren't coming for her. They were coming for me. My name appeared in their database. I stared at the screen. Why am I listed as a priority target? Vera went pale. Because you are the only human who has successfully synchronized with an Ilari royal neural signature. What does that mean? It means your nervous system can stabilize my abilities. I blinked. So I'm your emotional support human. Yes. That sounds adorable. It is extremely important. Less adorable. She touched my cheek. You saved me. You saved me too. No. I mean before the drones. I frowned. She explained that every night beside me, her nervous system had healed. My presence had helped her regain control of powers she had nearly lost after the coup. Then she revealed the final secret. Her royal family had chosen her a political husband before the assassination attempt. I raised an eyebrow. Wait. So you're technically engaged? Not anymore. What happened? I rejected him. Why? She looked directly at me. Because I discovered something more valuable. I tried to joke. Free Wi-Fi? She rolled her eyes. You. My heart stopped. Vera stepped closer. I insisted we sleep together every night because I wanted to survive. But somewhere between your terrible jokes and burnt coffee, I started wanting more than survival. I swallowed. How much more? She smiled. Enough to make the galaxy extremely inconvenient. I laughed. Then she kissed my cheek. It was gentle, brief, and completely unexpected. My brain stopped working. She pulled back. Was that acceptable? I stared at her. Vera, I have been waiting 3 weeks for you to stop threatening me with cuddling. She laughed. Then the emergency sirens began. Our peaceful moment was over. But this time, neither of us was afraid. We ran into a hallway as alarms screamed around us. Vera grabbed my hand. Stay close. I was planning to. Good. Because I have no idea where I'm going. I noticed. We sprinted down the stairs while sparks fell from the ceiling. Together. 3 months later, the galaxy knew our names. Vera returned to her homeworld with me beside her. The coup collapsed when the evidence from the drones was broadcast across the Ilari network. Her people expected a royal savior. Instead, they got a sarcastic human who still couldn't pronounce half their ceremonial titles. At the royal ceremony, an ancient counselor asked me, "What qualifies you to stand beside our princess?" I answered honestly, "I know how to make her laugh." Silence filled the chamber. Vera smiled. Then she whispered, "And you make terrible coffee. That's why you love me." "I have not officially said that." "You're wearing my jacket." She looked down. She was. The council approved our bond. Not because I was powerful. Not because I was royalty. Because Vera had chosen me. Later that night, we returned to our apartment. The same apartment where her escape pod had crashed. The same bedroom where she had first demanded that I sleep beside her. She stood beside the bed. "You know," she said, "we no longer require the nightly protection ritual." I smiled. "So I finally get my entire bed back?" "Yes." "Wonderful." I climbed under the blanket. Vera stared at me. I patted the mattress. "You coming?" Her ears lifted. "You want me to?" Apparently I've become emotionally dependent on having an alien princess steal my pillow. She laughed and joined me. For a while, we said nothing. Then she whispered, "I was afraid I would never feel safe again." I turned toward her. "You do now?" She nodded. "With you." I smiled. "Good." She rested her head against my shoulder. "And there is another reason I wanted you beside me." "What?" "My species believes sleeping beside someone reveals the truth of their heart." I raised an eyebrow. "That's convenient. It means I knew you loved me before you admitted it." I stared at her. "I never admitted it." She smiled. "You just did." I groaned. "Alien mind tricks. Human stubbornness. Royal arrogance. Bad coffee. Pointy ears." Her eyes widened. "You insult my ears?" Affectionately. She laughed and pulled the blanket over us. Outside, stars shimmered above the city. Inside, 2 people from different worlds finally found the one place where neither had to pretend. Not because destiny demanded it. Not because tradition forced it. Because they chose each other. And sometimes, the strangest love stories begin with a crashed spaceship, a stolen pillow, and one alien roommate who refuses to sleep alone. If you enjoyed this romantic HFY sci-fi story, subscribe for more alien-human adventures, and tell me in the comments, would you let an alien roommate share your bed if it meant saving the galaxy? And remember, sometimes the person who crashes into your life isn't a disaster. Sometimes they're home. She looked at me with that same expression she had worn on the first night, frightened, uncertain, and trying very hard to appear stronger than she felt. But now, 3 months after the battle, I thought the hardest part of loving an alien princess was over. I was wrong. The hardest part was discovering that she had been hiding one final secret from me. It happened on a quiet evening when Vera returned from the Royal Council looking unusually pale. I immediately knew something was wrong. "You're doing the face," I said. "What face?" "The face where you pretend everything is fine while mentally planning how to destroy an entire government." She blinked. "That is remarkably accurate." "So?" She sat beside me. "The council discovered something in your genetic records." I laughed nervously. "Please tell me I'm secretly royalty." "No." "Half alien?" "No." "Immortal?" "Definitely no." I sighed. "Then what?" Vera took my hand. "Your ancestors were exposed to Ilari technology nearly 200 years ago." I stared at her. And that exposure changed your bloodline." My smile disappeared. "You mean humans like me?" "Not exactly." She activated a holographic projection. A glowing symbol appeared between us. It was the same symbol that had appeared on her palm during the attack. I recognized it immediately. "The bond mark." Vera nodded. "The reason your nervous system can synchronize with mine is because your ancestors were genetically adapted to Ilari energy." I leaned back. "So you're saying humans were compatible with aliens long before we knew aliens existed?" "Yes." I stared at the hologram. "That is the most terrifying family history I've ever heard." Vera smiled. "You are not terrified." "I am absolutely terrified." "You're smiling." "That's my survival mechanism." She laughed softly. Then her expression became serious. "There is more." Of course there was. "Your compatibility is rare. Extremely rare. If the other Ilari factions discover it, they will try to control you." I looked at her. "So what happens now?" She squeezed my hand. "We leave." "Leave the planet?" "Leave the galaxy?" I blinked. "You're asking me to run away with an alien princess?" "Yes." "Do I at least get paid?" She laughed. "You will receive royal protection." "Does royal protection include dental?" "No." "Then we need to negotiate." She leaned closer. "You're joking." "I joke when I'm scared." Her smile faded. "I know." For a moment neither of us spoke. Then she rested her forehead against mine. "I don't want you to come because of the bond." "Good. I want you to come because you choose me." I smiled. "I already chose you." Her eyes filled with tears. Then she kissed me. This time, there was no hesitation. No fear. No ancient tradition. Just two people who had somehow crossed an entire universe to find each other. When we finally pulled apart, Vera whispered, "There is one more problem." I groaned. "Of course there is. Our new ship has only one sleeping chamber." I stared at her. She smiled mischievously. "So?" I pointed at her. "You planned this." "Perhaps. You've been manipulating the entire galaxy just to steal my pillow." "Perhaps." I laughed. Then I pulled her closer. "Fine." Outside, the stars waited. Inside, the alien princess who once feared sleeping alone finally had someone beside her. And this time, the moment either of us was running from the future, Vera gave me 3 rules. We were flying straight toward it. First, never touch the red button. Easy. Second, never open the airlock without checking the pressure. Also easy. Third, never insult an Ilari warrior. I looked at her. That one sounds oddly specific. It is. Why? Because you already insulted 6 of them yesterday. I called one of them a walking refrigerator. He was 7 feet tall and wearing armor. Exactly. Vera covered her face. I smiled. Our ship, the Silver Dawn, accelerated into hyperspace. Stars stretched into brilliant lines around us before disappearing completely. For the first time, I understood how enormous the universe really was. And somehow, in all that emptiness, I was sitting beside the woman who had once crashed through my balcony. Vera watched me silently. What? You are different. How? You are not afraid anymore. I thought about it. I am. She raised an eyebrow. Then why don't you show it? Because you're here. Her expression softened. Then the ship suddenly shook. A warning alarm screamed. Vera jumped to her feet. Someone has entered the system. I stared at the control panel. Already? Yes. Who? Her face went pale. The Carvex. I had never heard the name. That sounds friendly. They are not. A massive alien cruiser appeared behind us. It was shaped like a black blade, surrounded by blue energy. Vera immediately began entering commands. They found us. I tightened my seatbelt. So what's the plan? Run. Finally, a plan I understand. The Silver Dawn accelerated. The enemy ship followed. Vera pushed the engines beyond their safe limit. The entire cabin shook. I grabbed the side of my seat. Are we supposed to be making that noise? No. That's reassuring. She looked at me. If we are captured, they will separate us. I stopped joking. They won't. You don't know that. I know one thing. What? I spent months sleeping beside you because you were afraid to be alone. I reached for her hand. Now it's my turn to make sure you're not alone. Her fingers tightened around mine. For several seconds, we simply stared at each other. Then Vera smiled. That was almost romantic. Almost? You still owe me dinner. We're being chased by an alien warship. And? I laughed. You're impossible. You chose me. Unfortunately. She leaned closer. Liar. The ship suddenly jolted violently. We were thrown against our seats. The enemy had fired. Vera's eyes widened. Brace yourself! A second blast struck. The lights went out. For a few seconds, there was only darkness. Then emergency lights flickered on. I looked at Vera. Are we alive? Yes. Good. She looked at the control panel. Her expression changed. What? The engines are damaged. How bad? We have 6 minutes before they fail completely. I swallowed. And then? We fall out of hyperspace. And the enemy? They will capture us. I looked through the viewport. The massive cruiser was getting closer. Then I noticed something strange. A small planet appeared ahead. Its atmosphere glowed green. Can we land there? Vera shook her head. That planet is classified as a death world. I smiled. Sounds like home. She stared at me. You cannot be serious. I've survived Earth. That is not an argument. It is to a human. She laughed despite herself. Then she entered the coordinates. The Silver Dawn dove toward the unknown planet. As flames began appearing around the ship, Vera grabbed my hand. Whatever happens, I know. We stay together. Always. The ship disappeared into the green atmosphere. And neither of us noticed the enormous shadow waiting beneath the clouds. Something on that planet had been watching us. Something that already knew Vera's name. And when we crashed, it was waiting for us. The first thing I saw after the crash was Vera's face. The second thing I saw was a giant claw pressed against the outside of our cockpit. I blinked. Please tell me that's part of the ship. Vera slowly turned toward the window. It is not. Excellent. The Silver Dawn had landed upside down in a forest of enormous silver trees. Smoke drifted through the cabin, sparks flickered from broken panels, and somewhere outside, something massive growled. Vera released her seat belt. We need to leave. I pointed toward the claw. That's your professional opinion? Yes. Mine too. We crawled through the emergency hatch. The moment we stepped outside, the forest became strangely silent. No birds. No insects. Nothing. Vera whispered. Stay close. I looked at her. You know, every time you say that, something horrible happens. She frowned. That is coincidence. A branch snapped behind us. We both turned. Nothing. Another snap. Closer. I grabbed a broken metal pipe from the wreckage. Vera stared at it. What are you planning to do with that? Same thing humans have done for thousands of years. Fight a monster? Pretend we're brave. She smiled. Then the trees exploded. A creature the size of a building emerged from the shadows. It had 4 glowing eyes, 6 powerful legs, and translucent armor covering its body. I raised the pipe. Vera grabbed my arm. Don't. Why? Because that's a juvenile. I slowly lowered the pipe. A juvenile? Yes. I looked behind it. How big is the adult? Vera didn't answer. That is not a comforting silence. The creature sniffed the air. Then it lowered its enormous head toward Vera. She froze. It knows me. How? Vera touched the glowing mark on her palm. This planet was once an Ilari research colony. I stared at her. You've been here before? No. Then why does it recognize you? The creature suddenly made a soft clicking sound. Vera's eyes widened. It isn't recognizing me. What is it doing? It is recognizing the bond. My stomach dropped. The bond between us? She nodded. The creature gently lowered its head until its enormous eyes were level with ours. Then it made a sound that almost resembled a laugh. I looked at Vera. Did that thing just laugh at us? I think so. Even aliens have judgmental wildlife. Vera smiled. Then the creature turned toward the forest and roared. The ground shook. Dozens of smaller creatures appeared between the trees. They weren't attacking. They were surrounding us. Vera suddenly understood. They're protecting us. From what? Her face became serious. The Carvex. A distant explosion echoed through the forest. Our pursuers had landed. Vera grabbed my hand. We have to move. We followed the creatures deeper into the forest. Minutes later, we reached an enormous underground chamber filled with glowing crystals. At its center stood an ancient Ilari structure. Vera approached it. The moment she touched the door, the entire chamber illuminated. A holographic message appeared. A woman's voice echoed through the darkness. If you are seeing this, the royal bloodline has returned. Vera froze. I looked at her. Royal bloodline? The hologram continued. The human beside you is not your protector. Vera's eyes widened. He is the key. I stared at the projection. Key to what? The hologram answered. The awakening of the first star. The chamber began shaking. Vera grabbed my hand. What is the first star? Before she could answer, the ancient structure opened. A brilliant white light filled the chamber. And somewhere beneath the planet, something enormous began to wake. I looked at Vera. She whispered 4 words that made my blood run cold. We were expected here. Then the entire planet roared. The planet screamed. Not metaphorically. The ground beneath our feet actually screamed. The ancient chambers shook violently as enormous cracks spread across the crystal floor. Blue-white energy erupted from beneath the structure, filling the air with a pressure so intense that breathing became difficult. I grabbed Vera's hand. Please tell me this is normal. She stared at the glowing chamber. No. Great. The giant creatures surrounding us suddenly lowered themselves to the ground. Every one of them bowed toward the ancient structure. Vera whispered. They are afraid. Of what's coming? Yes. A deep vibration rolled through the chamber. Then a voice spoke. Not through speakers. Not through the hologram. Inside our minds. The bond has been restored. I froze. Vera grabbed her head. What is happening? The glowing symbol on her palm appeared on mine. It burned for 1 second before becoming completely painless. I stared at it. Well, that's new. Vera looked at our hands. The first star recognizes us. What exactly is the first star? She hesitated. The oldest artificial intelligence ever created by the Ilari. I frowned. So we're waking up a giant alien computer? No. She looked toward the floor. We're waking up something that controls the computer. That was significantly worse. A massive column of light erupted from beneath us. The entire chamber transformed. Walls disappeared. The ceiling opened. And suddenly we were standing beneath a sky filled with stars. Except these weren't stars. They were memories. Thousands of them. Entire civilizations appeared around us as glowing images. Vera watched silently. These are the worlds the first star protected. And what happened to them? They disappeared. Why? She looked at me. Because someone betrayed it. A metallic voice echoed through the chamber. The betrayer approaches. I immediately knew who it meant. The Carvex. Vera nodded. A massive explosion shook the entrance. The Carvex had found us. Their soldiers stormed into the chamber. Their leader stepped forward wearing black armor covered in glowing symbols. Princess Vera, he said. She stepped in front of me. You followed us across the galaxy. We followed the key. His eyes moved toward me. I raised my eyebrows. I'm starting to dislike being called a key. The commander laughed. You have no understanding of what you are. That's becoming a theme. Vera whispered. Don't provoke him. I wasn't. You absolutely were. The commander lifted his weapon. Human, surrender. I looked at Vera. Then at the army. Then at the ancient machine. No. The commander fired. Before the energy reached us, the first star activated. Everything stopped. The soldiers froze. The weapon's energy froze in midair. Even falling dust stopped. Only Vera and I could move. She stared at me. Why can we still move? I looked at our glowing hands. Maybe because we're bonded. She smiled. Or because you're the key. The first star spoke again. 2 worlds. 1 choice. A vision appeared before us. Earth. Ilera. The Carvex fleet. Then another image. A future where humans and Ilari stood together beneath a shared flag. Vera looked at me. If we activate the first star completely, it will unite our civilizations. And if we don't, the war continues. I looked at the frozen commander. Then at Vera. You know what I hate about destiny? What? It always expects us to make the important decision while we're standing in the middle of explosions. She laughed. Then she took my hand. Together? Always. We pressed our glowing palms against the ancient crystal. The first star awakened. A wave of light exploded across the planet. Then beyond it. Across the galaxy. Every ship. Every station. Every world saw the same message. The humans have returned. Vera stared at me. Why does it say humans? I smiled nervously. I think your ancient civilization just made a very big mistake. Why? Because now the galaxy knows we're here. Far above the planet, thousands of ships appeared. Not Carvex ships. Human ships. Earth had received the signal. And humanity had come looking for us. Thousands of ships appeared above the planet. Looks like my people finally found the artificial stars. Vera laughed. I stared upward. But then the first star spoke one final sentence. Vera nodded. Yes. How many? She checked the scanner. Approximately 12,000. I swallowed. 12,000? Yes. I smiled. That's either the greatest rescue mission in human history. Vera looked at me. Or the most expensive family reunion ever. She laughed. For the first time since we had crashed, the fear in her eyes disappeared. Then every human ship opened communication channels simultaneously. A familiar voice filled the sky. Unidentified Ilari forces, this is the United Earth Fleet. Release our people immediately. I looked at Vera. Our people? She smiled. I like that. The Carvex commander stared upward in disbelief. You brought an entire civilization? I shrugged. Humans are bad at moderation. Vera whispered. That is painfully accurate. The first star suddenly projected another message. The human species has passed the first trial. I frowned. First trial? Vera looked nervous. What? The first star doesn't simply awaken. Then what does it do? It tests civilizations. I looked at the ancient machine. And we passed? Yes. What was the test? She stared at me. Choosing each other when the galaxy demanded that we choose power. I looked at her. So our relationship saved the galaxy? Apparently. I grinned. I'm never letting you win an argument again. She laughed. You already lose every argument. That's because you're an alien princess. No. She stepped closer. You lose because you're stubborn. I smiled. Same thing. Suddenly, the Carvex commander activated his armor. You think human numbers will save you? Behind him, hundreds of soldiers raised their weapons. The human fleet responded. Thousands of weapon systems locked onto the planet. For several seconds, nobody moved. Then Vera stepped forward. Stop. Everyone froze. She raised her hand. The first star does not want another war. The commander laughed. Your ancient machine cannot control us. The first star spoke. Correct. The commander smiled. Then the first star continued. But humanity can. Every human ship activated simultaneously. The Carvex weapons shut down. Their engines failed. Their communication systems went silent. The commander stared at his armor. What did you do? I looked at Vera. She smiled. The first star gave humanity access to every network in the galaxy. I whistled. So basically. I paused. Humans just became the galaxy's system administrator. Vera laughed. Please don't abuse your new authority. No promises. The Carvex soldiers surrendered. The war was over. But peace didn't come immediately. There were treaties, arguments, political negotiations, and an unbelievable amount of paperwork. Vera became the official ambassador between Earth and Ilera. I became her advisor. Although, according to the official title, I was called Human Ilari Bond Liaison. I preferred something simpler. Husband. Vera nearly dropped her tablet the first time I said it during a royal meeting. You cannot casually call yourself that in front of the council. Why? Because we haven't completed the ceremony. I leaned closer. When is it? She smiled. Tomorrow. I froze. Tomorrow? Yes. You knew? Yes. And you didn't tell me? I wanted to surprise you. I stared at her. You realize humans don't enjoy surprise weddings? She laughed. You humans enjoy surprises constantly. Not this kind. She kissed my cheek. Relax. Then she whispered. After tomorrow, you won't be my roommate anymore. I smiled. What will I be? Her eyes sparkled. My husband. For once, I had no joke. The galaxy had changed. The war was over. Humanity had found its place among the stars. And somehow, the greatest discovery wasn't the first star. It wasn't alien technology. It wasn't even proof that humans had been connected to the galaxy for centuries. It was the simple truth that two completely different people could meet by accident and choose each other on purpose. But as we walked toward the royal chamber, the first star sent one final transmission. The next threat has entered the galaxy. Vera stopped. I sighed. Please tell me we're getting one honeymoon first. She smiled. I'll negotiate. Behind us, the stars began to darken. Something enormous was approaching. And this time, it wasn't coming for Vera. It was coming for Earth. Earth had never looked so beautiful. From the observation deck of the Ilari flagship, I watched our planet hanging beneath us, blue and white against an endless ocean of stars. Beside me stood Vera. She wore a silver ceremonial dress that shimmered whenever she moved. Her violet hair flowed over her shoulders, and the glowing bond mark on her hand matched mine. You're staring, she said. I know. At Earth? I smiled. At you. Her ears turned lavender. You are becoming dangerously confident. I'm getting married to an alien princess. Confidence seems appropriate. She laughed. Tomorrow, humanity and Ilera would officially sign the treaty that ended centuries of isolation. But tonight wasn't about politics. It was about us. The ceremony took place beneath two artificial suns inside the royal garden. Thousands of humans and Ilari gathered around a crystal platform. The ancient first star appeared above us as a massive holographic sphere. Then it spoke. 2 worlds. 1 future. Vera looked at me. You ready? No. She smiled. Good. Good? Because neither am I. We stepped onto the platform together. The Ilari Council watched silently. Then Vera's father approached. For a moment, I remembered how terrified she had been when we first met. The lonely alien princess hiding from assassins. The woman who had demanded I sleep beside her every night. The roommate who stole my pillow. Now she stood beside me before 2 civilizations. Her father looked at me. Do you understand the responsibility of this bond? I nodded. Yes. Do you understand that my daughter is stubborn? I looked at Vera. Extremely. The entire audience laughed. Vera elbowed me. Her father smiled. Good. Then you understand her. He placed Vera's hand in mine. The bond mark on both our palms illuminated. The first star activated. A wave of energy spread across the garden. For a moment, every person present could feel what we felt. Fear. Trust. Loneliness. Love. Hope. The audience became completely silent. Then the first star spoke. Bond accepted. Vera looked at me. I love you. I smiled. I love you too. She kissed me. The crowd erupted. Some humans cheered. The Ilari applauded. One alien warrior actually fainted. I whispered. Did he just pass out? Vera smiled. He has never witnessed human affection. Poor guy. After the ceremony, we returned to our private quarters. I looked around. So? We're officially married. Yes. And we're no longer roommates. She smiled. No. I sighed dramatically. I kind of miss the old days. You mean when you complained about my sleeping habits? You kicked me in your sleep. You snored. I was unconscious. That is not an excuse. We laughed. Then Vera became quiet. She rested her head against my shoulder. Do you ever regret coming with me? I thought about the crashed escape pod. The drones. The war. The strange planet. The first star. The wedding. Then I looked at her. Never. She closed her eyes. I was so afraid when I first met you. Me too. You. Yes. Why? I smiled. Because I thought you were going to kill me. She laughed. I considered it romantic. I decided against it. Thank you. She kissed my forehead. Outside the window, Earth and the Ilari fleet floated beneath the stars. Humanity had entered a new age. Not through conquest. Not through superior weapons. But through connection. A human and an alien princess had proven that 2 species could overcome fear and build something together. And somewhere beyond the galaxy, the next mystery waited. But for tonight there was no war. No assassins. No ancient machines. Only 2 people lying beneath the stars. Vera pulled the blanket toward herself. I grabbed the other side. Hey! My blanket! Our blanket! She smiled. Still fighting over blankets? Always. She moved closer. Then perhaps we should sleep together. I raised an eyebrow. Careful. That sentence started this entire adventure. She laughed. I know. And beneath 2 suns, the alien princess who once demanded that her human roommate sleep beside her finally got exactly what she had wanted. Not a protector. Not a political alliance. Not a convenient bond. A home. With me.